We all know what we want. We want happiness. As simple as that. And we come to Satsang with expectations. We come to Satsang to see if we can hear something that will finally make it happen for us. We come to Satsang to see if we are given some exercise, something to do that finally will make it happen. And we go to weekend retreats, hoping that there we'll find that happiness. The thing is that no words, no exercise, no practice can give you what you want. Nothing can give you the realization that you are looking for. And you say, well, but I stay in silence and I feel really good. Or I go to a retreat and after that I feel really good, I have experiences. I read some books and I feel something moving inside me. Yes, but what happened? They go away. A few hours, a few days, and they go away. They go away because you are doing it with your ego. You are the doer doing it. And you get some experiences, and very nice ones. But those experiences are like the free samples of cologne that they give you at the mall. You go to the shopping mall and they give you a small bottle of cologne and you use it one day and you use it another day and the third day is gone. Because you just got a free sample from the grace. Should you stop coming to satsang? Should you stop being quiet at home? No. But you have to be clear that you are only going to get free samples from that. When are you going to get your realization? Forever. Done. When the grace wants to. When she is good and ready. Nothing that you do is going to give it to you. It's the grace that is going to give it to you. When is the grace going to give it to you? The grace is going to give it to you when you put your freedom, your desire for, to call it some way, for freedom at the top of everything in your life. The grace will only give it to you when you show it that that's the most important thing in your life. Until then, nothing is going to happen. And you will only get free samples. And you say, well, but I've been searching for 20, 30, 40 years. I've been to India 7 times. I've been to Satsang almost every week. I read all the books. Isn't that enough to show the grace? That is the most important thing? No. No. Because when you do that long search, you've been 30 years in search, and you have read all the books, and you went to Ramana Ashram, you are building a character. You are building an ego, and a spiritual ego, and you like it, and you like your character, you like it. You say, I've been to India, I have read 400 books, I can discuss about spirituality with anybody. I like my character. And you think that because the character is spiritual, is not an ego, and you are wrong on that. That's the most strong ego you can build, is that spiritual ego. And you feed it, and you make it bigger, thinking that because it's spiritual, it's going to take you to realization. And it won't. You are feeding the monster that is keeping you away from realization. What can you do? Stop. Let it go. Stop doing that. Be normal. Be a normal person. Be the person you always been. Not that character that you build and you like so much that makes you feel superior to everybody else because you are so spiritual. Stop. Be normal again. Go back to what you are. Go back to your normal self. Start seeing your friends, because you think that you can only talk to people that is as spiritual as you are. And you close yourself into a lie. Go back to normal. Go back to being your normal self. Go out, watch a football game. Go out and have a couple of beers with your friends. Be your real self. And from there, acknowledge that everything that you do is not you doing it. Acknowledge that everything is the grace. And that's the way how you put the grace on top of everything. By being normal and recognizing that everything that happens in your life, every moment of joy that you have, is not you. It's the grace giving it to you. Surrender. That's the only thing you can do. Surrender. And the grace will start making it happen for you. I guarantee that. Things will start happening and will stay there forever. No more free samples. You will start having experiences, and those experiences will stay with you. But you have to be normal. You have to be humble. You have to recognize that you cannot do anything. That everything is given to you. It's as simple as that. Now it's time for questions, gossip. You want me to tell you my experience with Robert, how was being with Robert and all that? Go ahead. It's time to do that. Let's have some fun. We are getting too serious here.
So Robert, you met in Sedona, not in Los Angeles?
No. I met Robert in Los Angeles.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I met Robert in 94.
94.
He moved to Sedona in 96.
Nice.
So I was living close by to him. I was living in Sherman Oaks, and he was giving satsang in the hills. I don't remember the name of the area, but it was like 20 minutes, 15 minutes from my house.
Yeah.
And I was going to satsang twice a week for 2 years. And also we met for lunch. I used to cook for him at home. I'm a good cook, so they say. So he liked me to cook for him. And it was the most important experience in my life, those 2 years.
You think of the number one question that I had.
You wrote it in your pad?
This was my notes for, and it was exactly what you talked about. It says how to put spirituality first in my life and yet be in the world, you know. I've been struggling a lot with that. Like I started bawling. We just sat down here and I was like, what the heck? Struggle so much inside.
Mm-hmm.
My mind just, it's crazy. And I try really hard to keep it together and do all the right stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And prior to coming to this teaching, I was going to give up everything, and like a lot of people, I'm sure,
Mm-hmm.
Move to wherever woods. But I felt like I was running from something instead of facing something. And I had finally gotten to the place where I wasn't running from anything that I was aware of. I was aware of consciously, and it felt like I was going to move in that direction. But I bumped into these teachings, and the teaching was, don't do that. And that was really disappointing for me.
Mm-hmm.
And it was be normal. And be normal, but be a vegetarian. Don't do anything but meditate and do self-inquiry.
Mm-hmm.
6 hours a day, ungodly hours.
It's a contradiction.
Complete contradiction.
Mm-hmm.
And so I've been trying to digest this and work the fight out. And I think the fight's part of the reason that it tells you to do that stuff. But that's why I'm here. It's just, yeah. What?
There is nothing wrong, because those things that you've been doing and thinking and doing help at the beginning. It helped you to focus on what you want, but they become a dead weight at some point. You have to be open to recognize when that happens and let that go. I tell it like, like a rocket that's trying to put some vehicle in Mars. You need a very big and heavy rocket propulsion system to break the attraction of the Earth. And that big and powerful rocket helps you start the movement and helps you break the resistance of a normal life, not looking for anything. But after a while, it gets expanded. All the fuel is gone. And if the rocket stays attached, it won't help anymore. It will make it fall back to Earth. So at some point, you just have to let it go. And that's how the scientists, the rocket scientists do that. They get to a point, the whole thing disattach. Is that a word? I mean, detach. And then it falls back, and the rocket keeps going. You have to be able to recognize when is the time to let go. And sometimes it's hard because you have invested so much time in that character, in that ego, that you don't want to let it go. You want that ego to get what he wants, and he won't. Because an ego cannot get you what you want. Your mind cannot help you get there.
I kind of realized that I was building this spiritual ego about 2 years ago, and that I was tied to being spiritual, right?
Mm-hmm.
There was this sense of identity with it.
And you like it, huh?
At the time I did.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was like I was proud. It was a pride.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I was proud to be a vegetarian. Proud.
Yeah.
I
Mm-hmm.
was better than other people. And so I gave up being a vegetarian. I gave up all that. I tried to put down as much of it as possible, yet keep doing the things that felt like necessities, but try to live a family life.
Mm-hmm.
Not get mad if I didn't get to meditate. Not force things. And I've been trying to allow life to orchestrate things. It's not always easy, but because it seems like life just wants me sucked into life, and And I'm wondering, where's the balance of giving in and being normal and giving all that, like, giving that credit to, how did you put it? You said give the credit to grace or something. You're not the doer. So how does one, I don't even know. Where was I going? I've lost my train of thought.
You wanted to know how to be in your regular life and the spiritual life, put them all together. I think that's where you were going.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, by acknowledging that it's not you.
How does one acknowledge that when it doesn't feel that way?
Then you gotta keep doing it until you realize that.
Keep doing what?
Keep believing that you are the doer, and keep suffering.
I don't want to suffer.
Then acknowledge that you are not the doer.
Oh, there's so much suffering. I don't want to
And the suffering will stop immediately.
Exactly.
Will stop right there.
Just observe how everything is happening by itself. Like your hair grows by itself, your heart beats by itself. You're not beating it, you know. You're in deep sleep, your heart is still beating 24/7.
And you're breathing.
You know, everything, grass is growing by itself, seasons come by themselves, you know. So if you observe that, you will begin to notice that, you know, you're really not the doer, you know. And you can start with your own body, you know. A lot of the things that are happening, you're not commanding your body to do those things consciously. It's just happening very spontaneously. And as Robert says, you know, often he says, you know, you don't have to give up anything. You don't have to give up your job or family or anything. But if you have that awareness and you have that witness awareness of just watching yourself get angry, watching yourself get depressed, watching yourself get hungry, you know, all of those things kind of, you separate yourself from the body in that sense, you know, without having to, you know, necessarily give up anything. And the beauty of self-inquiry is that, you know, you don't have to set aside, you know, a huge chunk of time to sit down and meditate. You can ask yourself these things. Who's having these thoughts, you know, throughout the day, no matter what you're doing, you know, or no matter where you are. If you're doing your job, you can still do that. You know, you don't. It's this freedom that you have that you can, you know, tap into that and dive into yourself at any given moment, no matter where you are and no matter what you're doing. That's what I've found. You know?
Yeah, but there is in what you are saying, there is a danger, because you are saying things that are true, but for you are a concept. If all the things that you say really were your experience, you wouldn't be here. Or you will be here but sitting here. So don't repeat things that you didn't live. Don't tell other people those concepts, because you are not helping yourself nor the other people. Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
Yeah, reading creates that character that knows a lot of things and can tell people how to do. But in reality, none of what you have say is your experience.
I've had glimpses of what.
Glimpses, yes,
yeah, so
yes.
It resonates very deeply.
Yeah,
you know?
but be humble,
Yes,
and wait
Yes.
till you have the whole experience established in you to start telling people. If not, you are just getting some concept from Robert and repeating it. That's another trick of the mind to keep you happy with yourself. Be careful with that.
Sense of empowerment.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But it's normal. It's the mind doing his job. But the way I going back to your question is, at some point you have to let go the doer in you. Let me put it this way. How old are you?
40.
40. You have been being the doer for 40 years. Are you happy?
No.
Okay, it's time to change.
Absolutely.
Do something different.
I'm ready.
You've been the doer, and now you stop being the doer, and you just acknowledge that you are not the doer. And relax and let the grace do her job. And you will be amazed that everything that you thought you were making it happen keep happening anyway, without you, without your mind. Your mind is been telling you lies. It's been telling you that she is the one that makes things happen. And the mind doesn't do shit. The mind doesn't do anything, not even adding and subtracting. Everything is the grace. And the mind is only telling you that is she the one, and you fall for it. Stop. Stop.
I face the issue of being an artist. You are supposed to question.
Mm-hmm.
We're all thought through our life. Question this, question that, blah, blah, blah. Why?
Mm-hmm.
And to reach to that point, yeah.
Yeah. The thing is that the more you do it, the more miserable you are.
Because you dive into it.
Yeah. Because the more you think, the more miserable you are. Period. Period. The thought has no, it doesn't do anything for you. Thinking. And we've been trained, they've been telling us, no, you have to think well. You have to really think your stuff. You have to, think what you are going to do. And the more you think, the more miserable you are. And at some point you have to say, no, there is a direct relationship between thought and misery. And the less thought, the less misery. So stop. As simple as that.